Hello and welcome to this video where we're focusing on universal, targeted and specialist support and what those terms actually mean. I'm one of the members of the Southend Specialist Teaching Service and we work in partnership with schools, parents, children and other professionals. Amongst our team we have specialist teachers, we have high-level teaching assistants and outreach advisors as well as other specialist staff. My name's Juliet Frewin and I'm part of the Specialist Teaching Service and I work in the Cognition and Learning section. As you can see, I've worked in schools for over 20 years and I've got experience as a SENCO. This shows the graduated approach towards SEND. All students should be receiving the universal approach. This is in place for everybody regardless of if they're part of the early support that some people will have as a monitoring or a watch list, whether they have targeted interventions or specialist. Universal still underpins everything and is the foundation that all students, regardless of their SEND needs, will be entitled to. All students should be receiving universal support. This is access to high quality adaptive teaching and reasonable adjustments, all of which are included in teaching standards and the SEND code of practice. Targeted interventions will be needed for some young people. These may be small group or on a one-to-one basis with targeted interventions. As few child and young people will also require highly specialised interventions. If you're using this video as part of your training module, you may find that this is the appropriate time to take part in the sorting activity that is also available on our adaptive teaching Padlet. But we are going to focus on universal strategies. It's really important to remember that this is available to all children. It forms the foundation of all other support. This is where high quality teaching, as laid down in the teaching standards and in the SEND code of practice, is adapted to meet the needs of children in the classroom. This universal approach will meet the needs of the majority of children and reduce the demands for more targeted provision. This will include reasonable adjustments for children with diagnoses like dyslexia and ADHD, alongside students with physical needs. On this page you can see some of the descriptors that Southend Specialist Teaching Service have created to help teachers with understanding those needs for universal strategies within the classroom. If you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to our Padlet where these and others that are focused on primary or secondary are available for your usage. If you go to the adaptive teaching Padlet, also linked to that, you will find some that focus on specific skills such as reading that you can also make use of. This page shows us some examples of universal strategies that we could have in place. We might have laptops for students to be able to use within the classroom. These can be in some schools kept in the SEND department where students book in and out as they're required. Other schools have them within the classrooms at all times. The use of your red, amber, green cards for activities such as showing your level of understanding of a topic or for answering multiple choice questions. Using software such as Immersive Reader and having visual timetables. The use of coloured overlays to assist students in their reading. Having things such as wobble cushions or wedge supports. Having a standing desk. We have here an example of a small one that goes on the child's desk so they can choose to work sitting or standing without taking up more space. Our second stage is targeted provision. For some students, that universal provision on its own is not sufficient in order for them to make progress. Therefore, they will require targeted provision to also be put in place. Targeted provision may take the form of small groups or individual interventions. These may be led by a learning support assistant, a high-level teaching assistant, or be computer-based. There's been a lot of research into targeted interventions, and the evidence suggests that the most effective yet efficient approach is the use of small groups with work that directly relates to the whole class tasks, so it's relatable and valued by all taking part. Southend Specialist Teaching Service recognise that schools need support in training staff to be able to deliver these targeted intervention. You can see on this screen that there's a number of our training videos that are available on YouTube. These are also backed up by information on our Southend Specialist Teaching Service Padlet that you can access, and that shows things such as the handwriting pack and information on using programs such as Clicker. We're fortunate that also our speech and language team in Southend have other services that they can also deliver to support with interventions. All schools in Southend have access to Verbo, which has a wide variety of interventions. We can also see here things such as Concept Cat and WordAware that the speech and language team can provide training in. Alongside this, there is also training offered by the EP service, and we can see the SWEL approach is listed there. All of these things can be found on the Southend Learning Network for you to access. Stage 3 is specialist provision. If schools have efficient and effective universal strategies and targeted provision in place, specialist provision should only be required for a small proportion of students, that's those with complex needs. These young people will require personalised, bespoke support in addition to the support offered at universal and targeted level. Specialist provision can be supported for a variety of different places. This could be through the specialist teaching service that I'm part of. It could also be looking at the educational psychology service, the education access team, or alternative provision. Health also have a lot of specialist support that can be effective for helping with these children with complex needs. I hope you found this useful. Once again, here is a link to our Padlet that will take you to our information about all of the services that we've showcased during this video. Thank you for watching.